Hey, Spartan Nation. Mr. Nelson here talking about Pocket Points. What is Pocket Points? Well, let me tell you. It's a way that we can teach everyone, staff and students alike, respectful ways to use and not use electronics. What's going to happen is it's an app that you get to put on your phone that will help acknowledge and reinforce positive phone use behavior. And using electronics appropriately will get you rewards in those Pocket Points. So that will allow you, the students, to be focused on your schoolwork, and it has a direct correlation to the real world. So, speaking of the real world, let's get an idea here of how that might be used with our friends from Festival Foods.
All right, today I am here with you, Mrs. Beertzer, talking with Jesse DeMullen. Mr. Mullen is coming to us from Festival Foods, and we want to, first of all, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And we're actually kind of related, so this is kind of jazzy.
Yeah.
We're here today to talk about cell phone policy and the policy that you have in place at Festival Foods. So wondering if you can talk to us a little bit about that policy in terms of how your employees can or can't have their phones.
Yeah, absolutely. And the policy is pretty straightforward. Is while you're working at Festival, you are not allowed to have your cell phone with you. So it either has to stay in the car or in the locker. Because at the end of the day, from a business perspective, we're there to help our other associates while we're working, and just as importantly, serve our guests.
So students sometimes like to have their phones out at school. I'm sure that's not a shocker to them or you.
It's not shocking, no.
So do you find it difficult to curb students' enthusiasm or young workers with their phones, or because the policy is pretty straightforward, they get in check pretty quick?
Yeah, I think it's something that we set the expectation right away, and I think, to be honest, as most students, and really any associate for that matter, really likes the policy because they know that they're not necessarily going to be working any different or harder than anybody else, because the person they're going to be working with isn't going to have their face in their phone the whole time. They're going to be working and pulling their weight just like the rest of us.
Oh, as a teacher, this just sounds fantastic. Real life applicable when we take your phones. So how do you see this affecting your business if employees don't follow the expectations set for their cell phones? You kind of talked about everybody pulling their weight, but let's say people are found with their phones out. What happens?
Yeah, absolutely. And to be clear, if somebody's expecting an emergency or something like that where they need their phone, they just need to talk to their leader ahead of time and explain the situation.
So communicate.
Yeah, so there's that communication, but besides that, if that communication hasn't happened and someone's on Facebook or checking online for something, there is accountability that will happen. It might start with a conversation, but if it continues to happen, we're not helping our fellow associates or our guests, and discipline will be taken.
And nobody necessarily likes to get disciplined. At least I know I don't.
I don't, yeah.
Lastly, do you have policies in place going beyond the cell phone talk here for being late to work, tardy, if you will?
Yeah. I think same with cell phones. The attendance policy is something that's very important because at the end of the day, we schedule, being in a grocery store or in a retail setting, we schedule for how we're going to serve our guests. And if people are continually being late or calling in, our guests could suffer for that, or our associates are going to have to do more and more. So, we do have an attendance policy that's very fair. It really gives people the benefit of the doubt if they are sick and not able to come to work, but there is an accountability factor for that as well.
Awesome. Lastly, roughly how many high school students do you have working at Festival? Do you have any idea?
That's a really great question. I don't know, and every store is going to be different.
Sure.
So, certainly our Oshkosh Festival, being so close to a lot of different major high schools,
Sure.
we definitely have a good percentage. And frankly, our students that do work for us, they really like working for Festival because we're flexible with sports. We're flexible really with our schedules.
Sure.
And there's a lot of different things as well, like Dollars for Students is a program that we offer that's pretty unique. So we have a lot of high schoolers that like to come to us just because of the fact that we're a really great place to work.
Awesome. Well, Mr. DeMullen, thank you so much today for coming on, talking to us about your policies and procedures, and also just a little nugget out there that, hey, if you're looking for a job, they might be hiring.
We're always hiring.
Awesome.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Couple of ideas about Pocket Points. The more students with the phones locked, the faster your points will accumulate for all students that are using the app. That's pretty handy. And the longer your phone stays locked, the faster the points will accumulate. And the points will only accumulate here at school because of something called geofencing. And of course, if you don't use all of your points this year, that they will transfer to the next year. So where could you use some of these things? We have a number of places currently on the Pocket Points, and those would be places like Blimpies, Pizza Hut, Subway, Cousins, Politos, Papa John's, Domino's, California Nails, Hot Dog Charlie's, Cranky Pat's, Wendy's, Rhapsodies, Planet Perks, School Store, Snack Shack, and we might also use them for big ticket items like, say, prom tickets, parking passes, and other types of things too. The program starts November 23rd, and this program of Pocket Points is going to take PBIS to the next level. And, of course, all we need to do is just download the app. So, let's take a look.
30 Pocket Points.
Pocket points. What are those?
Oh, you don't know what that is?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's the new app in the store. Do you not know?
No. How do I
It's
get
in your
it?
either Android or Apple store. For every 20 minutes you're not on your phone, it gives you a prize, or a point in other words, and you redeem your points in this store right here. You can choose what you want: Domino's, Zeroni's, California Nails, Pizza Hut, Politos. There's a whole bunch of things.
So I can get anything for not being on my phone?
Yeah, pretty much anything. Yeah, let's go to the school store. I'll show you right now.
All right, let's go.
What y'all want?
I have some Pocket Points to redeem. I have 33, and it says for 20 I get a free pack of gum.
Alright. Your breath hot. I'm gonna give you this one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Good doing business. I told you you get free things.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you, Pocket Points.
Download the app now and get your free Pocket Points. And get free things.